By the time this video comes out, it should be around New Year's or at least early New Year's time. So, first of all, Happy New Year's. I hope that the last year was kind to you. I hope that every single thing that happened was to your favor, one way or another. And I hope that this year is going to be much more better than it was before. And if it's not, it's okay. We all got our down moments. And if you feel it's too long, it's also okay. Maybe you should fight where you can, right? Okay. First, let's see. Let's look back, at least for this channel, for a lot of the things I tried to create. I wanna look back at 2022, and let's start with a big giant summary. I'd call 2022 a comeback season. I call it that because one, I've been listening to Zetubani and one of his songs called Comeback Season, and it's actually a really fun song to listen to. Check it out. And also, it's more towards, like, the name comes in because during EVO, there was a line in OCV, One Character Victory, for the finals for KOF. The song rang to me. It's basically it's a really nice song to listen to, but it's basically just saying, hey, this is just another comeback. We can do it. We'll fight back, right? When everything's in the corner, learn to figure out, and we'll see how to beat it, right? And here's what I learned to do this comeback of some sort, right? And the first would be let what you feel, how do I say it? Feel what you are feeling. Let it be. That's how you act on it. So, for example, right, when you're angry, feel angry. Be angry. Just be completely angry, right? But you can do two things when you're angry. You could lash out and, hurt or break something, or a better option would be to, especially if you're dealing with people, tell them, hey, I'm angry. I need a breather. I need to breathe real quick. I need to get some fresh air, get out, or run a mile, right? There's always a choice in that regard. Two, people, especially this year, people come and go. I actually didn't realize how many people stay, and how many people just disappeared alone in this year alone from life. And people come and go. You just have to enjoy the time in the moment, and there's also no need to curse people out or be scared that people come and go. When they go, it's basically just another story branching off into a choice that you chose a certain path, they chose a certain path, and it splits. It's fine. No one needs to be blamed for that. In some cases, it's better that they go, because it's just nice. It's if it stayed any longer, it would have been a mess, right? It could have been a mess. It could have not, but there's always that could have, right? Don't need to curse them out or be scared. Enjoy whatever. Just be there. Period. I'm not convincing, and I don't have the energy. It's not that I don't have the energy. I'm keeping my voice down for certain things. And then there's the 5-second rule. This one I was taught by a professional that I went to see, and it says that if your brain starts to doubt something, if your brain tells you not to do it when you wholeheartedly know that it's good for you, just do it and ignore it for 5 seconds. Your brain starts to agree with you at some point. So, for example, this one would be that I had a not long history. It's just about 2 years. I was like fear driving because of an accident. And one day, I took this rule to heart and tried it. Right, I started driving. The first 5 seconds was just terrifying, and as you start pressing the pedal, slowly but surely, you don't hear that voice as much as you thought you would, and that's how slowly it's like, okay, maybe it's not too bad, you go, oh, and it's now I'm just driving like no, without any issues. Maybe there are a few obstacles that I know for a fact that I could not handle, but that's a different case other than being scared or doubtful about it. And that's something still trying to kind of master it, but it's a decent thing when it works. Just give it 5 seconds. You'll probably figure out that it's not as bad of an idea as it sounds. Next is all you have to do is just ask. All you have to do is just ask. Never be afraid to ask. Even if you think it's stupid, maybe for the most time, yes, this is stupid, but but there's nothing wrong in asking. What do I say? You can also, because the thing is, if you don't ask, right? If you don't ask, it's always a net zero. So if you ask, at least there's a gamble with a 50 of that could have gotten it or you could not. And there's the could. If you don't ask, there's just will be zero, right? And which leads to the next lesson, which is actually semi-connected. It's a chance is a chance. It's not a binary 1 or 0. And optimism is saying there's a chance, not disregarding the risk. The thing is that, at least for this year, for some reason, there's a lot of influx of pessimism that existed. And the thing about that is people think, oh, optimism is just what was called like blind force positivity, and I used to think that we do like very edgy thinking, right? But in reality, optimism, okay, so in reality, right, this is like the 3 things people tend to see: realist, pessimist, and optimist. People think optimists are, oh, it will work, it's like, oh, I don't give a damn. It's blind naivety. People think it's naivety. People think pessimism is what the being realist is about, when it's not. And pessimism. So what I learned is that optimism is like looking at an odds. For example, right, let's say something has a 40 to 60 ratio of succeeding. 40 here being the chance of succeeding, and 60 is the chance of fucking up, right? Okay. A realist would look at the odds and just take it as is. It's like, oh, okay, the odds are 4 to 6. Fine. An optimist would say, oh, there's a chance that this will work. There's a chance that it will work, and there's a chance that it doesn't, but we'll take the chance in the off chance that it works. Pessimism just says, why bother? Look at it. It's there's a higher chance of failing so why just not do? Why bother doing it when there's a chance of succeeding, right? So maybe stop thinking that optimism is such a naive kid thing, and maybe we could understand that there are risks for a lot of things, but is it worth your time and effort or not? The next one is just Another fun detail I learned this year is, so don't bind yourself to a label. A label here referring to, how is it? Oh, being, if let's say a particular party affiliation, or a certain group wholeheartedly, and then just following it, even though there are some aspects you don't like, just don't. You can call yourself a certain thing, but you don't have to stand all the time. Right? There are things that you as a person want to do. For example, being in let's say a VTuber community, it's like normally, and I'm pretty sure they're lax now about it, but but there was a time where people think, oh, you can't do IRL content, and if you call yourself a VTuber, and at least now I don't even call myself that, because I just don't know. But the idea here is just that do what you want to do. A label is just a label. That doesn't mean shit, right? And if you want to live through it, by all means, go ahead. I won't tell you, but I just feel like it's a bit limiting to a lot of things that you want to do. And then there's the next one, which is like information. This is the same case with the chance is not binary thing, where information is just information. What you do with it determines if it's good or bad. So here's a fun idea. Let's say you found out that life is meaningless. Life has no bigger meaning. It's nihilism to its core, right? Now, some people would just choose to despair, see it as, oh, time to despair because nothing I do means anything. And to some other people, you just see, oh shit, if it doesn't have meaning, then I guess I can do whatever the hell I want. It's something that changes from time to time, especially when you're tired. But trying to understand this is actually a pretty neat, like, helpful thing to have for the most part. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah, the last one is just the typical, oh, there are times where things aren't great, and it's fine. Just just lick your wounds. Just take your time, and you can just rest, but don't rest forever. At some point, you still have to get up and do something. There are many times I try to tell myself that it's okay, but it's still a work in progress, right? It's what I learned. It's not what I've mastered, so to speak. and then with all that learned, and then there are a few where a more negative, or more not negative, or more sinister stuff that I've learned this year. I probably wouldn't share. I don't want to keep the positivity. Don't want to keep the negativity up for this. But there's just so many things to learn in a year, and this is some of the few that helped kind of rewire some of the things and making this quote unquote comeback possible. Right? There's a lot more, but I can't remember much from the top of my head. I have a script, obviously. Dumb nuts. Well, not script, it's just a bunch of bullet notes. And that's the only few things I can come up with when I was writing it. So, that's out of the way. Let's look into the future. Let's look into this year. What are we doing for this year? At least for the channel, for my social accounts. More content, as per usual. More content here will be referring to, I want to do more curated stuff, so like edited, thought out, planned, there's the normal streams of games, but right now I'm working to my final year, so that's gonna be less, more content that I can do on the side, and then just uploading it when it's done. It's done when it's done kind of mentality. I also want to compete more tournaments, more fighting game tournaments. I want to try get out of pools for a lot of the fighting game competitions I want to enter. I don't want to get I don't need to get into top 8 now, but I just want to get out of pools enough to get a scratch on it, right? And there's going to be more. This one is going to be more focused, where there's going to be more artwork to be drawn. I'll draw more. I even have now a dedicated art Twitter account for me to just post my arts without having a lot of other things get in the way. Go follow it. There's this one in the description. And then what else? I want to also just be more active with my content, with my social media, but all the while stay somewhat healthy about it. There's an unhealthy amount of usage that I just do not feel comfortable like admitting, but I see it's an issue. The need to keep being active, but then there's this thing where it's like there's no healthy boundaries for it. So coming to next year, trying to find that fine balance, and hopefully there's enough support, because apparently some people would think, and I would agree, that to keep active you can't just keep a distance and everything needs to be there all the time. Just to understand, no, you're not gonna miss out on a one or two trends, and that's not something you're gonna enjoy. It's not something. It's going to detriment you in such a long run, right? Unless it's just improve fighting games. Like, holy crap, those games have helped me in so many ways in improving whatever the hell I'm going through, that I just want to get better. I want to get better. Right. Oh my god, it's such a short thing. What else? There's also the more concrete. Those are like long-term, semi-long-term ones. The concrete one, the one that like it has to be achieved, and it has a concrete observation would be. I want to get a booth for a con. I want to sell some of my drawings. I want to sell prints. I want to sell some merch. Probably not going to be from whatever I do as like my channel or anything. It's more like maybe fan arts of like Guilty Gear characters, or maybe like YouTubes of Guilty Gear stuff. I don't know. My bad. Things like that. Like I said before, I get out of pools. You can observe the fact that you get out of pools. Finish at least 6 games, because I have an issue about not finishing games, and it just keeps on piling up. So I want to try finishing up a lot more. And the other one is get my art account. Like, I have a new art Twitter account. Go follow it to 100 followers at least, or more. That'd be great. Realistic goals, right? And at least one of these days, I want to make a full-on video essay, like the ones that I've been watching. I have the script written, but my research isn't done yet, and collecting material isn't done yet. So that's that. And I guess the more personal one would be just to get a Saber cosplay, proper Saber cosplay, finish my degree, and maybe create a habit, so like something. If I can create a habit, that means I can do something, right? It's if I could create a habit and stick to it, it means that there's a capacity for change. and I want to try doing that. This one's a rather short one because it's a more super laser focused one, but the problem with laser focused one is that a lot of things get cut out, and at times when you think excess fat is getting cut out, and then later on you're gonna think, shit, I should have added this, should add that, should add this. But at least the fact that you did it means that at least the idea and what you want to do is already out there. You can do better next time. Fuck that. And I guess that's about it. That's about it. Happy New Year's.